Greetings to everyone out there in the NoDQ galaxy. Happy New Year to everyone. Welcome to NoDQ Live here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRift We are coming off the very first WWE broadcast of the new year, although it was taped on Saturday in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, very close to Oil City, where the reigning and defending, not defending, wrestling trivia champion Greg Cherry resides. Let's go ahead and talk about this episode of Smackdown, and maybe I'll jump into some other wrestling related topics. Maybe talk about All Elite Wrestling. The big announcement was made at midnight Pacific last night. It is official. All Elite Wrestling is now a thing. There will be a rally next Tuesday in Jacksonville, Florida, which also happens to be the site of next week's SmackDown Live, when SmackDown actually returns to being a live show. Going to be very interesting nonetheless. I'll talk more about that in just a little bit. NYCKNP with a $2 super chat donation. He says, Happy New Year. 9 months until SmackDown moves to Fox. By the way, Stephen Osborne is here in the chat room, which is a rarity, so welcome, Stephen. Caitlin's back, Cindy's here, the whole gang. We got the NoDQ panel, Team NoDQ in the house. 9 months until SmackDown moves to Fox. Based Ash Ketchum with a $2 super chat donation. He says, Happy New Year's, Aaron. You're awesome, bro. Well, thank you for that, Based Ash Ketchum. I do appreciate it. We are now like 3.5 weeks until the Royal Rumble. We are about 8-9 months from SummerSlam. Lots of cool stuff to look forward to in 2019 for sure. Nelson Moreno with a $2 super chat donation. He says, Happy New Year, Aaron and the NoDQ Galaxy. Thank you very much for that, Nelson. Marsh says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Marsh. We got the NoDQ meetup in Canada, so it's about 7.5 months, I want to say. I think Cindy has the math down. Definitely going to be a very fun time for everyone involved. Probably the biggest NoDQ meetup of all time. I'm thinking the majority of Team NoDQ will be there. It's going to be a blast, and I hope a lot of you will get the opportunity to meet up with the team. But enough of that. That is 7.5 months down the line. Let's get to SmackDown Live, and then, of course, I will discuss All Elite Wrestling. Thank you, Roman Reigns, with the $2 super chat. Says, Happy New Year's, Aaron, and to everyone in the chat. Well, thank you very much for that. Easy for me to say. Thank you, Roman Reigns. All right, so SmackDown Live kicked off with the New Day. At first, I was like, oh boy, here we go. New Day, same old crap. We had Big E coming out, dressed up like a New Year's baby. They talked about entering the Royal Rumble match, but here's where it turned around for me. And all of a sudden, I'm back on the New Day bandwagon, at least for one night. So Big E talked about the Royal Rumble, and he started talking about how normally they would have a 33.33% chance of winning the Royal Rumble between the three of them. And then he brought up the chances of other people, and then he was quickly interrupted by Xavier Woods says, Why are you doing Steiner math? That was fantastic. That was, as far as I'm concerned, the peak of 2019. It doesn't get any better than that. Big G with a $2 super chat donation. He says, Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you for that, Big G. I want to give this SmackDown an A, just for the Scott Steiner reference alone. That was awesome. Although I will say the crowd barely made any reaction to that whatsoever. So clearly it's an inside reference, but I loved it. As Kayfabe Candy Ass says, nice reference for everyone over 30. And a nice reference to the few people that even remember TNA, period. Reggie says any Steiner moment on WWE TV is a top 10 moment easily. And AJat800 said, I knew you liked the Scott Steiner reference, Aaron. So let's see if there's anything else I missed. Okay, so Xavier talked about the New Year's resolution for the new day and talked about their health and said they were not going to eat pancakes anymore. They were not going to devour pancakes, I should say. But then, of course, you had Big E devouring the pancakes and being defiant. Then there was a reference to wearing a blindfold. I guess the Bird Box movie, whatever that is. I guess I'm the only person in the world that hasn't seen it. I don't believe Caitlin has seen it either. So there are a few people out there, me being one of them, no interest in seeing that movie. Everyone's talking about it, and I'm like, if something's popular, I'm more likely to avoid it. I don't jump on trends. I'm not interested in seeing that movie just because everyone else has seen it. And the movie title sounds stupid anyways. If it had a 93% fresh rating like Bumblebee, then maybe I would consider it. But I still haven't gone to see Bumblebee, and I really have no interest in seeing that movie, so there you go. All right, let's move on here. So yeah, basically the whole gist of the segment was New Day will be in the Royal Rumble. New Day danced to Jeff Hardy's theme as Hardy made his entrance. And then we had Jeff Hardy versus Samoa Joe. So basically WWE announced a 5-way match for the main event with the winner challenging AJ Styles, or not AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, the new Daniel Bryan, the WWE champion Daniel Bryan, the planet's champion Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble. For some reason, and I'm not sure why, maybe somebody in the chat room can help me with this. For some reason, Jeff Hardy and Samoa Joe had to qualify for the 5th spot. I have no idea why they had to qualify and nobody else. Somebody in the chat room care to explain to me if there was a reason given by WWE? I'm confused. Calvin Bowman says, do you listen to Bruce Pritchard's podcast? I watched the WWE Network version of it. I have not listened or watched to anything he's done outside of the WWE Network, if that answers your question. I'm looking to see if anybody has a reason why Joe and Hardy had to qualify for the match. So far, I'm not seeing anything. So apparently, there was no reason given. Chris Mace thinks maybe they had qualifying matches on the house shows. That I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. A lot of people are just saying it was to fill time. So, woo, yay. This guy with the $2 super chat donation. Quick, where's Jason Jordan? Good night and happy new year. Why are you saying quick? Jason Jordan is still hurt. That's why he's gone. And it's still a big question mark if he'll ever be cleared to wrestle again. Jeremy Dorset says, who are the surprise entrances you would like to see in the 2019 Royal Rumble? Too early to say, but I'll talk about that as we get closer to the Rumble. Anyways, back to the match. Jeff Hardy hit the Swanton Bomb. Samoa Joe rode to the outside. Jeff Hardy went after him. Joe put the Coquina clutch on Hardy on the outside. Got back in the ring. The referee counted 9 and then stopped for some reason. Restarted the count. Jeff Hardy made it back in at 9, and then Joe immediately put the Coquina clutch on again, and that resulted in Jeff Hardy passing out. So there you go. Samoa Joe advances to the main event. My man, Stephen Osborne of the NXT What's NXT review plus the NXT party with a $5 super chat donation says, Happy New Year, Aaron and Team NoDQ. Cannot wait for SummerSlam in Toronto. Gonna be a blast. Check out the NXT 2018 year in review. Shout out to Jerry. Thank you for that, Stefan. And definitely, you guys should check out the NXT videos that Stefan and Jerry put out there every week. good stuff. Keeps you up to date on what's going on with NXT. And they just do a great job. And I love how they have the big TV, and sometimes they get Noah Foster on there, the Simple Man. Sometimes they get Cindy on. I like that little thing that they do with the TV screen. So check out their videos. They put a lot of work into it. And definitely shout out to Jerry for being part of the team. And hopefully I'll get to see him and Stefan for SummerSlam weekend in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. All right, so yeah, we had Samoa Joe advance. We had a recap of that closing segment from last week where AJ Styles was yelled at by Vince. Vince wants to see a more aggressive AJ Styles, a new AJ Styles. So AJ slapped Vince. That was last week. And then we had Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon backstage chatting about the main event. We had AJ Styles show up and say, "Are you sure you want to see the real AJ Styles?" AJ then said he was not going to apologize, and Vince and everybody else would see the real AJ Styles. And Vince was like all calm, cool, and collected. Shane McMahon wanted to beat up AJ, because he's Shane McMahon. He's a tough son of a bitch. AJ said that they were going to see the real AJ. He took off. Vince said he definitely wanted to see the real AJ Styles, and Shane was like, "Be careful what you wish for." And that was that. Can we put OG in timeout, by the way? Just saying. Got to be a little bit more respectful. That was quick. Thank you, Virtue. All right, so Rusev came out for his big celebration, and Rusev said that he actually cares about the title. He would be a fighting champion. This was a bit of an awkward segment. Rusev talked about how it's going to be Rusev Day, USA, Rusev Day, USA. Got a chant going, and then he was attacked from Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura beat him up. Lana came to the aid. She jumped up on Nakamura's shoulders, and then Rusev hit the Mashka kick, but unfortunately when he did that, Nakamura fell back to the mat, and Lana fell on the mat, and Nakamura basically crushed her. Rusev was checking on her, and then Nakamura hit the Kinshasa on Rusev, and that was the segment. So basically, Lana took a bump in this whole melee trying to protect her man. And it looks like we'll be seeing a Nakamura Rusev rematch. The feud will continue despite WWE doing the no automatic rematch policy. We'll see if that ends up applying to this particular storyline. Thank you, Roman Reigns, with a $2 Super Chat donation. Says, anybody miss moving graphics in WWE? I appreciate the Super Chat, but way to go completely off topic. Yeah, we do miss them. I think I could speak for everybody. We all miss them. So next up, we had what was supposed to be Mandy Rose versus Naomi. Mandy Rose got under Naomi's skin by taking off her shirt to reveal a Uso shirt, or an Uso shirt. Last week during the Christmas show, we had a little backstage segment where Mandy Rose was instigating Naomi and I guess being flirty with Jimmy Uso. So the storyline continues. Mandy was wearing the Uso t-shirt, and then Sonya Deville jumped Naomi, and that led to Naomi versus Sonya one-on-one instead of Mandy Rose versus Naomi, which I guess was fine. There was no contract signed for this match. I mean, I'm thinking like 80s now with that whole thought process, but I guess you could just randomly change the matchup like that. I don't know. You got me. M. Dion says, WWE has gotten so stale that Aaron now needs notes. I've always had notes for Raw. You just don't see them. I mean, I've been printing them out lately, but usually I have them on the computer. Which tweet got 4,000 likes? What's he talking about? Kayfabe Candy Ass says a tweet got 4,000 likes. I have no idea what he's talking about. And Gareth, I will be talking about All Elite Wrestling. So stay tuned for those of you listening for the SmackDown review. Afterwards, I will be discussing the All Elite Wrestling launch and giving my thoughts on that up to this point. So there is more to come after this. Let's finish up the SmackDown review. So Mandy Rose was at ringside. She was instigating Naomi some more, and then she got on the mic and announced that she actually sent a photo to Jimmy Uso and then showed that video of herself just wearing a towel, like Homer Simpson on that one episode. You have to speak up, I'm wearing a towel. And that led to Sonya Deville hitting her finisher on a distracted Naomi to pick up the victory. Then we had a bunch of promos from the Fatal 5-Way participants, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, Mustafa Ali, and Samoa Joe, all cut promos. And then we had more footage of New Year's resolutions being shown. Same thing that we had on Raw. And then we had John Cena with his new hairstyle make his big return. Cena talked about how he was at WrestleMania. Maybe he had a few too many beers. He talked about his personal life and all the drama that happened there. He brought up writing a children's book and how he lived in China for 6 months and how the fans were all over the place with their reactions, but he was still happy to be back. He said that he somehow thinks his hair is a good idea. Much like me, I guess, with this hair here, when everyone's all like, you're balding, why don't you just buzz your hair? I probably will, but I guess I still think it's a good idea to have hair in 2019 at 36 years old. But anyways, enough of that. John Cena said it's not who's there, but why. Why is he there? And he said he doesn't have a good reason why he's there, but he knows in WWE there's going to be a reason. There's going to be a guy who comes out there in 30 seconds who's going to talk about how he's washed up, how he's a part-timer, and then that guy will tell Cena to leave faster than Nikki Bella left him. So he took a shot at himself for being dumped by Nikki. And then we had Becky Lynch come out. So that was the whole setup to lead to Becky coming out instead of a man. It was the man coming out. Thank you, TK. Wow, I'm already losing my voice here. Thank you, TK, for that comment. Let me get a sip of water here. I'm still getting over the cold. It's nuts. Thank you, Roman Reigns, for the $2 super chat donation. And Anthony says, looks like Cena is getting bold. I'm not sure if he meant bald or bold. So Becky came out and she said that it's not just the guys that she's trying to, or not just the women she's trying to surpass, but also the guys like John Cena. Brought up how he's been the poster boy for WWE and she wants to aim for that, be on all the posters and be the new person to fill his shoes. And she said if he has a problem with that, then Nikki Bella won't be the only woman to drop him. So that was the big diss that was a big deal on Saturday. There was a video of it. Everyone was talking about it back then. I believe Cena did something with his hair because he was noticeably going bald about a year ago, and then all of a sudden he had a full head of hair. So I think he did something with his hair. But John Cena can afford it. I cannot afford it, so I'm basically stuck with the bald spot or just shaving my head at this point. So we should take a poll in the chat room. Should I shave my head or should I keep it growing? You guys let me know what looks best. I do not have the funds to do the hair club for men. A lot of people saying shave your head. So there you go. Everyone's saying shave it. So there you go. Somebody said I should grow dreads. I see shave and grow a beard. If you got a bald spot, always shave your head. Keep it Aaron, screw popular opinion. Caitlin says, I do not vote. So there you go. And her opinion's really the only one that matters. All right, so back to SmackDown. We had Andrade, Cien Almas, and Zelina Vega come out. And this was funny because Zelina Vega was talking about how WWE is all about a fresh start for everyone. But then it's the same old stuff with John Cena coming out there, the same old guy stealing the spotlight. And she also brought up how Becky Lynch looks like she was still reeling from the effects of being punched in the face and having her face broken. I just thought that this was amusing because this was the same segment we've seen for years. This is the so-called new era with the fresh start, yet we're still getting the same tired segment where somebody's interrupted and then that gets turned into a tag team match. I mean, that's what Teddy Long has been doing for years, or was doing for years, and now you have somebody else doing the same thing. Anyways, we had a tag team match. We had Becky Lynch and John Cena against Almas and Vega. The crowd was very much into Becky, chanting, "We want Becky," when John Cena was in there. He finally got the hot tag. Becky cleaned house. She beat the crap out of Vega. And then John Cena came back in, did his moves on Almas, including the punch, the lightning fist, whatever they're calling it. And then Becky Lynch threw Cena out of the ring, put the disarm her on Vega. Vega tapped out, so John Cena and Becky Lynch picked up the victory. Then we had Becky and Cena on the outside of the ring. Cena was like, okay, cool, we still won, whatever. But then we had Becky doing the "you can't see me," and then that was that. And the announcers talked about how that was very disrespectful to do Cena's taunt, whatever. This was fine. I mean, this was basically, the whole point of this was to further get over Becky Lynch and have Cena put the stamp of approval on her. But I think it would have been more effective if Cena did not already make fun of himself earlier. He already brought up how Nikki dumped him. So when Becky used that line, see, I didn't know about the first part with Cena making fun of himself. When I read the spoilers and saw the video, I'm like, wow, this is quite intense. But when John basically made fun of himself, I think that watered the whole thing down a little bit. And when Becky used the line, the joke was already made. So it didn't have nearly as much impact as far as I'm concerned. So the segment wasn't quite as good as I thought it was going to be reading the spoilers. Thank you, Roman Reigns, with another $5 super chat donation. Thank you, Roman Reigns. He says, John Cena versus Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 35. Book it, Vince. The promos would be great. It's very rare that John Cena is in a segment with a female, though. Well, he was in a bunch of segments with Nikki Bella, so I wouldn't say it's that rare. The Relaxing Noob with a $10 super chat donation. Aaron, would you rather get dancing lessons from Gooker, maths lesson from Steiner? What was that? Or promo lessons from Sid, can only choose one. I would always choose math lessons from Scott Steiner because Scott Steiner is the man and I would just be highly entertained. Promo lessons from Sid, I'm basically going to be screwed. Let's be real here. But interesting question, Relaxing Noob. I appreciate it. So let's see. I talked about the tag match. We had Miz and Shane backstage. They were going over possible outfits. Miz, of course, showed a diagram where both of them had the Miz's outfit. Shane was like, nah, I'm not feeling it. Miz said, yeah, you're right. I'll go ahead and burn that outfit. Then he showed another diagram of more Miz costumes, including Miz and Shane having matching Miz tights. And Shane was not too amused by this. Then we had another NXT video package for the newcomers that are debuting within the next few weeks or months or whenever. Who knows? Same thing that we saw on Raw. Then we had Asuka chatting with Triple H about being the new women's champion, and Asuka said she would face anybody. This led to Charlotte, Carmella, and Becky Lynch coming into the frame, talking about wanting the title opportunity, and Triple H said he would take it under advisement, and that was that. Red Draven Rucker says you were the best, Aaron. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Then we had the main event, the 5-way to determine the opponent for the new Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble. Bryan was watching backstage on the monitor, and that was the only time we saw him on this show. It was Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, Mustafa Ali, Samoa Joe, and AJ Styles. AJ got slammed through the table by Samoa Joe, and the announcers were like, well, AJ's done for this match. He's not coming back. So, yeah, I mean, this was a bit predictable. With AJ being put through the table, you knew he was going to be back at the end. We had some cool spots from Mustafa Ali and Rey Mysterio. That should be a really fun match whenever that happens. I'm guessing we will see that sooner than later. I think that they'll have a really strong match. In the end, though, it was AJ Styles who picked up the victory with the 450 splash on Randy Orton. So, yes, Orton took the fall in this match. It was fine. Good match. Felt a little short, though. I don't know. But, yeah, AJ Styles facing Daniel Bryan. Rematch at the Royal Rumble. So, there you go. Landon I'm with a $2 super chat donation says, do you think eating booty hole is mealy AF? Well, it depends on the person. I mean, everyone has their own tastes. So whatever works for you. If you enjoy it, good for you. I'm not one to judge. Stephen Osborne with a $2 super chat donation says, it should have been anybody but AJ. Well, there you go. I'm fine with AJ versus Bryan one more time, but I can understand some people maybe wanting to see Mustafa Ali in that role, or maybe even Rey Mysterio versus Daniel Bryan. It is what it is. So I thought SmackDown was okay. Again, it was a lame duck show. I was a little disappointed with the John Cena segment. I thought that could have been done a little bit better to elevate Becky Lynch, but it was still good. The show was all right overall. I mean, the Scott Steiner reference, personally for me, that was the highlight. Okay, yeah, Landon I'm definitely needs timeout now. Give me a break. Guy is definitely going overboard. Oh man, the people in the chat room tonight. Jeez Louise. But yeah, I will give SmackDown I'll give it a B-. It was slightly above average. Quite frankly, the Scott Steiner line put it above a C for me. And the main event was pretty good. So yeah, I'll give it a B-. I'll be fair. For a throwaway taped show, it was pretty good. So that's it for SmackDown Live. I'll talk about the All Elite Wrestling for a few minutes. So at midnight, the Being the Elite video went up and they did the big reveal. All Elite Wrestling and the event Double or Nothing, the official sequel to All In, is now in the works. And this coming Tuesday, which is the same day as SmackDown Live, in the same city of Jacksonville, Florida. Thank you, Roman Reigns, with a $2 super chat donation. Says, any WrestleMania opponent for Cena? Here we go, off topic. I'd say Samoa Joe. Sure, why not? I wanted to see that feud last year, and it didn't happen because Joe got hurt. So yeah, why not? Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Back to AEW. Hold on a second here. Stephen Osborne with a $3 super chat donation, rounding it off to $10 total here. Thank you, Stephen. You're the man. He says, AEW for the win in 2019. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm definitely crossing my fingers that AEW can make a big impact. Not sure if the pun is intended. I mean, I hope they make a bigger impact than Impact. Let's just put it that way. They got their big rally coming up next Tuesday in Jacksonville. Now, what's the guy's name? Something Khan. He owns the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's worth something like $6 billion. So Cody and the Young Bucks obviously have some strong financial backing for this, which is going to be needed for any promotion to really get off the ground. Relaxing Noob with a $5 super chat donation. He says, Sid promos are 5 stars, you know, and I know you two are man, I am, and have half the brain that you do. This guy just loves Sid. I mean, yeah, Sid was the man. The promos were great. I love when Sid turned heel in 92 after the 92 Rumble, since I'll try to keep this on topic with the Royal Rumble coming up. When they had that press conference for WrestleMania 8 and Hogan was announced as the #1 contender, I love Sid's reaction and his promo after that. That was scary. And then when Sid was on the barber shop and then all the powder from the barber shop got in his face, as a kid, that creeped me the hell out. So go check out those promos. Those were Sid's best promos, in my opinion. But yeah, he had a bunch of bloopers, like that one where he asked to start the promo over and JR's like, "We're live, pal." And then, of course, the half the brain, I have half the brain that you do from Nitro. That was a great one. So yeah, Tony Khan, I believe he's going to be the president of All Elite Wrestling, and Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks are going to be the executive producers of AEW. We'll see how this goes. They got the Double or Nothing event, and the official All Elite Wrestling Twitter account was following a bunch of arenas across the country, so maybe they're going to look into the idea of touring and doing shows across the country. They're doing pretty much every major city, from Los Angeles to Seattle to Detroit, you name it. You know, they're going to be hitting a lot of the big cities, it appears. So this might just be the start of things to come. We'll have to see what they have planned exactly, but they do have a big financial backer in Tony Khan, excuse me. Let me take a sip of water here. Losing my voice again. Larry Cajon with a $2 super chat donation. He says, first time watching a NoDQ live. Well, right on, Larry. Thank you for tuning in, and I really do appreciate the super chat. Feel free to leave me a question or a comment. Fulham Job says, does AEW close down in 2020 or 2021? That's the only unknown. Well, I mean, I think they have a real shot of having some longevity here. I mean, they got the financial backing, and they have the grassroots following. They have people that are very supportive of the brand. So that's gonna give them a real shot here to succeed. Tony H with a $2 super chat donation. Does he say, or he says, Double or Nothing match announced at the event? That is definitely a possibility. We'll have to wait and see if they announce anything for that. I mean, would not shock me if they do. The question is, are they going to try to do some kind of publicity stunt with SmackDown being in the same city? I mean, to me, that's really interesting. And, of course, what was it, like a year or so ago, we had Cody and the Young Bucks. Basically, the Elite showed up outside the arena where WWE was holding a SmackDown in Ontario, California. So that definitely generated a lot of publicity. So we'll see what happens this coming Tuesday. Business is definitely picking up, and AEW bringing some headlines to NoDQ.com when there was really nothing to talk about other than SmackDown today. So there you go. I mean, this is definitely good for the industry. Another player coming in to the mix. You know, Impact Wrestling hasn't really been able to do much, and New Japan is only going to have so much crossover appeal to casual wrestling fans. We'll see if All Elite Wrestling can break through that barrier and attract to a new audience. I mean, is the new promotion All Elite Wrestling, will they just divide the fan base that already exists, or will All Elite Wrestling do what WCW did with Nitro, and that's create a whole new audience? I'm hoping for the latter. And, you know, Virtue is the one that brought this up. You know, All Elite Wrestling is only going to have limited success if they just bring in the existing fan base. I mean, what's really going to be best for the industry is if All Elite Wrestling can expand and create a new audience, bring in new eyeballs to wrestling. Will that happen, or will it just be a promotion that caters to the hardcore fans that are disgruntled with WWE? Will they create new fans? That remains to be seen. And here we go. Landon I'm with a $2 super chat donation. He says, Virtue, do you think Booty Hall is Mealy Daddy? Wow, and Stefan deleted the super chat, so he's just screwing me out of money here. Guys, I will read every super chat comment, regardless of how vulgar it is, unless it's just completely out of line, which that may have been. But Virtue, do you eat meaty booty hole? This we have to know. So Virtue, you're there. Tell us if you enjoy your meatly booty hole. Virtue says no, capital N-O. So question has been answered. So on that note, I think I will wrap up this edition of NoDQ Live. I think we're starting to go off the rails here. Stephen Osborne with a $2 super chat. He's like, here's your money back. Well, thank you for that, Stephen. I'll go ahead and wrap up this edition of NoDQ Live. Thank you all so much for watching and supporting NoDQ.com throughout 2018. It's the new year. We got a lot of big things coming up. Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Double or Nothing, SummerSlam. Caitlin is saying wait. So if the lady says wait, I have to wait. So I'm sitting here and waiting now. What am I talking about now? Somebody throw me a topic. New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 13. I hope you guys all enjoy it. I am not planning to watch it, but I will possibly check out a few matches at some point. Caitlin said wait, and now she's not telling me why I'm waiting. So I'm just going to sit here and awkwardly stare at the computer. Cindy says we might do a review video. Well, I hope you do a review video, Cindy. I mean, there was definitely people that are interested in getting a NoDQ review of Wrestle Kingdom. All right, Caitlin disappeared, so... Oh, wait. Caitlin just left a $2 super chat donation, which she'll be getting back, of course. She says, Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year to everyone, and Happy New Year to Bill and Mary. You guys are awesome, and I'm very excited to get the chance to meet you guys in a few weeks. So there, I did the little shout out to them. On that note, I will go ahead and wrap up this edition of NoDQ Live. Don't care about the Power Ranger. Not really interested in him doing the wrestling stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys later in the week for NoDQ review, NoDQ video. We'll have more wrestling trivia challenge, all that good stuff. Stay tuned for that, and I will see you all next time.